Now, I am excited for a few reasons. For starters, we didn't get scammed. Number two, the retro snap that I ordered some months back is finally here, which adds another option in the screen-free digital world of cameras. So we're going to unbox it, talk about it, and do a light comparison between this camera and the Camp Snap. So before we start out, just know that I wasn't sent this camera. I bought it with my own money, which was why I was concerned that it was a scam. There's a lot of those Instagram ads that seem too good to be true out these days, and I thought this was one of them, and they took my money. And needless to say, it finally arrived, and I'm pretty excited to give it a go. Now, I already opened it. I'm sorry. I had to charge it just to make sure it was good to go for the video. But as you can see, it comes with a nice microfiber bag, a strap, 2 charging ports, and mine came with an interchangeable face. Now, as you can see, there's not one on here, and this is the white version because it's snowy out. I don't even think they make the white anymore. I've been seeing other colors on their website, but that's what I got. Also, my Camp Snap new version, mind you, is Arctic White as well. So I just wanted an even comparison between the two. Without reading instructions, I'm going to snap it on like so. It doesn't seem to fit super flush. I think it's just because it was cut a little bit weird, but there she be. So as you can see, it shares a lot of similarities with our old friend the Camp Snap here. However, it is a bit smaller and thinner. It doesn't have a screen much like the Camp Snap, and it even has an 8 megapixel sensor with that toy lens that we're familiar with on the original here. But aside from that, they're kind of different cameras. Like if we look at the screen here, once we boot it up, we can see it's a bit higher quality. And this is something that you might find on like an LED light, kind of like a submenu on a bigger camera, right? It has your flash options just like the Camp Snap, but if we look here, there's a curious little button. Now, what does this do? You can press it and change filters. Now, as we know, the Camp Snap can do that as well, but you have to unscrew the bottom here to get to it and download the firmware. Everything with the retro snap here is in-house. And once we flip it over, we have more options under the gasket. Now, there's a charging port, and we have a removable SD card that comes stock with the camera. Again, like the Camp Snap has, but this is easier to access because you don't have to unscrew anything. It's just the matter of flipping a gasket. So yeah, body to body compared to the Camp Snap, it's very similar. I think the Camp Snap does look and feel a bit better, but that's just my personal opinion. There's nothing wrong with the way that retro snap looks, and you can customize it how you please. Now, aside from the cosmetics, I obviously haven't gone out to shoot with it. We are going to do that now, and as much as I want to straighten my verticals and horizons, I'm going to shoot everything straight out of the camera, no editing involved with the retro snap, just to see how it does. We will use the filters too, and I will bring my Camp Snap along and do a light comparison. Now, we're going to do another one in the near future once I get more inoculated with the retro snap here, and if the algorithm obviously likes this video. But with all of that aside, let's get out and shoot. So before we brave the cold, let's get a shot of the beast indoors here. Maybe we'll do a little speed test between the retro snap and the Camp Snap. We're gonna start now. Both cameras are turned off. Startup time to framing to shooting. Now, don't mind this first composition. It might be a bit sloppy. Straight speed we're looking for, and then we'll line up a nice composition. Ready, set, go. All right, both started up. Not very scientific, but the Camp Snap here was able to shoot and fire off a little bit faster than the retro snap. It took a little bit more time to think for the latter of the two than the Camp Snap. More quick note before we go outside. Retro Snap sent out an email, and the meat of it said that some of the makes of the camera here have a viewfinder issue. Now, the first thing I noticed when I looked through this camera to take a picture of my cat is that mine seems a little bit out of focus. Now, they are refunding people for this camera, and I don't know, maybe I have a faulty model. Doesn't bother me so far, but we'll keep going on. really wish there was more scenery for us to take pictures of, but it doesn't know whether it wants to be cold with snow or fall here in the Northland. Right now it's like negative 30 degrees with no snow. And believe me, my eyebrows are frozen. Regardless, we're gonna go check out the lake to see if there's any ships on the horizon. But honestly, I really doubt that I could pop off good shots with either of these cameras because of the focal length. But one thing to note about that is I believe the retrosnap has a wider field of view than our old pal, the cam snap. Either that or the viewfinder is just simply inaccurate. We will see. Don't mind all the pre-owned underwear, needles, and poop bags around here. This is still a beautiful spot even when there's no snow. We just need to clean it up collectively as a city of Duluth. So first and foremost, because it's all brown, I feel like we should try some monochrome options with retrosnap here. And all I gotta do is just press mono and we're good. Very nice of them to do that, so I don't have to download the software. Albeit it's free with the cam snap, it's just better for a guy like myself that's lazy and wants that option right now. Instant gratification. I'm an American and I'm getting fat, if you can't tell. So I'm trying to line these up in a very similar composition as best that I can. However, I do think that I have one of the recallable models of the retrosnap camera. The viewfinder is just simply autofocus, and I feel like I'm just not getting as much out of the camera as I should because of it. We're gonna look into this issue, I'll make some emails and see, but for now, we'll keep on with this one. Yeah, this viewfinder is a bit of an issue right now. Okay, we got to address the elephant in the room. I feel like there's more than one, and I'm not talking about my fat cat here. Now, for starters, I had to do some light editing on a couple pictures, and yes, I will mark the ones I did. It would be pretty apparent. And number two, I wasn't aware of the stark quality difference that we were gonna see between the cam snap camera and the retrosnap. Wasn't in my bingo cards because on paper they both have a toy lens with an 8 megapixel sensor, but in practice, wow. And I'm not saying that the retrosnap doesn't come out with an aesthetic image. Notice I didn't say good quality. It looks more like it was shot on a camcorder, i.e. a dad cam, one of those hot dog shaped cameras that you film your son's soccer games with, rather than a film camera. It looks a lot more digital. And it's a stretch to even say that it's an 8 megapixel camera. It feels like it's shooting maybe 1 or 2 megapixel thumbnail images. Like something that you would find on the market in the late 90s from like an Olympus point and shoot camera, rather than a film, if that makes sense. And I figured that if we kept the lighting good with the retrosnap and maybe shot with our light source behind us, you know, good photography practice, we can take some shots that look more like they were done on a consumer level camera, like a point and shoot, but that's just not the case. Every shot that I came out with looked like a primitive digital or even a Temu camera on today's market. But yeah, that is a look. It's lowbrow, and there's a demographic for it, right? It just doesn't look anything like the cam snap would, and they're coming in at about the same price. I should also mention I didn't know there was going to be a timestamp on every single image. I don't know how to take it off or if there is even a way to do so. I'm sure there is, but mind you, the next video that we do on the retrosnap, hopefully we'll have it off. It's also worth noting that, yeah, I'm almost 99% sure that my copy, the retrosnap, is the recall, where I'd have to send it in and I can get a refund for it, unfortunately. But aside from the viewfinder issues, I don't think there's much you can change in the quality department. So if that camcorder look is something that you want to go for, maybe consider picking up the retrosnap over the cam snap here. I do like the ergonomics, that it's smaller, the changeable front facing, I don't think you can even call it a grip, or stippling, it's just a plate. And having the ability to change the effects in camera rather than having to download them, unscrew something, screw it back in. That is a very nice quality that the retrosnap has over the cam snap. But as far as quality, usability, customer support, and all the above, I would have to give it to the cam snap. But I don't want to be too harsh on the retrosnap. Like, yeah, I don't really like the quality of the images coming out of it, and I was taken aback that it took so long to get here, and now I probably have to send it back. But they're a new company on the market, and it's nice to have alternative options working towards screen-free digital cameras. I think there's plenty of room in the sky for all the stars. So yeah, that was the retrosnap. We're gonna go over another video in the near future. Hopefully they get their ducks in a row and we can do a comparison between this camera and the cam snap in more detail if that's needed. But after using the two, it seems pretty cut and dry. Thank you for watching this video. Sub to the channel. Find me on Instagram for photos taken with both of these cameras amongst others at Matt's Notes. And yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you next.